told that you could be taught outside the traditional classroom and that you would learn with kids that weren't even your own age. You would have a teacher in the room, but she wouldn't be telling you what you had to learn. New way of learning, right? That's what the Montessori method is. And I want to tell you about Maria Montessori. I've been working in special education for many years, and I've seen the Montessori method be effective. It's individualized learning, so the kids get to learn the way that they were meant to learn at their own pace and being taught, guided by themselves. Now, even if you've never been and used the Montessori method or seen it, it can be used in traditional classrooms as well, and it can also help you learn if you understand it. Maria Montessori was a pioneer whose dedication and passion changed education. Her methods utilize the children's potential so that they guide themselves into individualized learning, and her programs are used effectively throughout the world. Let me tell you about her life before she developed the method. Maria was the first woman to earn a medical degree in Italy. She attended an all-boys technical school at the age of 13 against her father's wishes. In 1896, she got her medical degree in Italy. Again, the first woman. She specialized in psychiatry, education, and anthropology. She had a love of special needs children. She saw that they had potential that wasn't being used because they weren't being taught like the kids who could learn normally. And so she became an advocate for them. In 1915, she won 2 gold medals because she was allowed to show her methods in the Panama Pacific Exposition in San Francisco. They actually had glass classrooms where people were allowed to watch these children learn based on how she taught. As referenced in the International Montessori Index, she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize twice for her peace initiative while she was in India. And in 1907 came her big break, where Casa dei Bambini, which stands for the House of Children, she was given 50 impoverished children from the outskirts of Rome to try and teach her methods to. These were kids that were malnourished, they were poor, and they were living on the streets. And she developed a child care center where she learned that by letting them guide their own learning, they embraced what they had around them and they learned better. And that is where the Montessori method came into play. So now that you know about Maria, let me tell you exactly what the Montessori method is. The Montessori method it goes on the cognitive, physical, emotional, and social development of a child. So for instance, in early development, the kids use sensory motor skills, so there's sight, taste, sound, all of that is important. For instance, they may use these flashcards, which have numbers on them, but instead of traditional flashcards, each of these flashcards have different textures, rough or soft. There's feathers, so that instead of just seeing the number, they can feel it. And this will help them later when they go to write the numbers. So I'm going to pass these around if you want to look at them. They all have different textures on them. Okay, in elementary then, they start to learn about the abstract thinking, how their actions have consequences. This will help them with emotional development when they get into adolescence. They do science, math, all the traditional things too, but with the Montessori method, they learn how to relate these subjects and how they learn has an impact on all of these other subjects too, so they can apply it to everyday life. The North American Montessori Center describes the Montessori method as a spontaneous love of work that is revealed when children are given their own choices. The classrooms are set up kid-friendly so that there's warm colors, natural light, and a lot of space so that they can work. There's teachers in the rooms, but the teachers set up the lessons and then let the students do them to their own liking. They're there to offer advice, not to teach the curriculum. They're different age groups, so you may have 3 different grade levels in one group. This helps so that the older kids can mentor the younger kids, and the younger kids can learn team building skills and not be afraid to ask for help. And so that when they get out into the real world, those team building skills are going to be important. And then also they're learning courtesy and respect because they all have to work together. So now we know about the method, we know about Maria Montessori, but is this lasting? The Montessori method has been effective for over 100 years. According to the American Montessori Society, there are 22,000 Montessori schools in over 110 countries. They pass the boundaries of poor and rich, urban and rural, cultural differences and race differences. It works with everybody. Even over 400 public schools have embraced the Montessori methods, including charter schools and magnet schools. So let's consider everything that Maria Montessori has done for education. She was a pioneer who had vision and passion and dedication to development this method. Her method utilizes the child's potential, allowing them individualized learning. And it's been used effectively in the world for over 100 years. So without Maria Montessori's passion for education, without her going out and trying to find a way for all children to learn, think of all the children who would not have had an opportunity to realize their potential and expand on it. Thank you for letting me tell you about Maria Montessori.